Hi, Eric. Thanks for joining me today. You work in one of the most fun industries. I love what everything solar, and that's where you work. So maybe let's start with just a little bit more background. You do something in solar. What's your company about?
Yeah, thanks for having me, and you hit the nail on the head. We definitely do something in solar. We actually describe ourselves. So I'm Eric Israelsen, by the way, with Summit Energy. Um, we're primarily based in the northeastern United States in the Boston area, but we describe ourselves as a people company that does solar because at our foundation, we're big believers in people. While we like what solar does for our planet, at the end of the day, it helps our planet be a better place for all of us to live. People, every other, living creature on the earth. But in essence, we view people as the primary resource to help make the biggest difference on planet Earth and to most positively impact our future. So the more we focus on people and empower people, the more of an impact we'll be able to have on our future. And solar is an awesome vehicle that helps us really power a lot of people, both in the personal, looking at a person sense, but also for families and businesses that we help transition to solar power. Uh, it's one of the biggest ways they can make a carbon footprint reduction, but it also saves them, usually tens of dollars on their utility bills versus paying, the local utility and never-ending utility bill.
Yeah.
Basically, it helps them take the power into their own hands, generate clean, renewable energy, and save lots of money along the way. So we love what we do.
Win, win, win. I love the focus on people there, which kind of leads me to my next question. Being so people oriented, I'm assuming, email, customer service, all the touch points with people is a big part of what you do. Today, obviously, we've been working with you at Inbox Done for a while, helping out with that. But what was it like before we worked together?
Yeah, 100%. So we founded the company in 2016. I'm one of the co-founders, but we've grown pretty rapidly. We've grown all organically actually, but it's been rapid organic growth. We were honored on the Inc. 5000 list last year, so which is exciting and fun, right? But yeah, around a year ago, I was feeling the pain before that, but my email, just with all the roles I had played in the growth of the company from literally ground zero and just a few of us to, at this point, more than a couple hundred employees, trying to shed different emails that used to come to me and still getting CC'd on everything you can imagine. The inbox just felt unmanageable, and it was a constant stressor. Even when I had a productive day at work, focusing on people or business strategy or other things like that, there was always this looming sense of I don't know what's buried in my email inbox that I don't know what I don't know, right?
Mm.
So we were looking for solutions and fortunately came across Inbox Done and the team, and we started integrating it last spring, so not quite a year ago, and it's been huge. It's the team's been great to work with. Our inbox managers are great, Ben and Shane, and we've gotten to the point, for the first little while there was more frequent touch bases so they could kind of learn what we wanted done, what was helpful for us, and they did a great job at kind of learning the things that would be helpful to us and what ways they could assist and different things they could do. And now it's to the point where, we touch base once a month because for the most part, we've gotten things in sync to where we don't need to touch base more than that. Of course, they're always available if we do need to. But, just this last week, I traveled out to Phoenix for a business conference, and I didn't have that stress of like, well, what's going on in my email inbox while
Hmm.
I'm focused on this, right? And on the day to day, it's the same thing. Now I can just plug into my email on my schedule. Usually I check it in the morning and then kind of the end of the day, but um, there's not this constant stress of like what's lying in there that I still haven't seen or gotten to. And if there's anything really urgent, they've learned how they can ping me. But Yeah, we've liked it enough to where we've expanded to a few of our executive team members, and we'll probably continue to look at who else in our organization, likely on the executive team, could benefit from having that additional help. So we definitely like it. It allows us to focus more on the people, the business strategy, and things like that, and not be stressed about, what we haven't gotten to in the email inbox.
Given, being a founder and you're in, I don't know if it's super technical. I know I don't know how to install solar myself, and I'm sure you have some background in that given you started the company. But as it grew to several hundred people now, the variety of decisions you must be making are far more diverse. How did you find working and delegating email, given you're kind of using your assistants as the first line defense with all the different types of questions you're probably getting as a founder, and plus your executives, they have their own set of different questions. So how have you found becoming to trust your assistants to deal with situations when they're not the founder? They didn't start your company, they don't have that skill set. So how did that transition go for you?
Yeah, I'd say it went well for me. I'm generally lean on the side of being more trusting than less trusting. Obviously within reason, but I think the process with the more frequent touch bases up front, and then learning, getting to know my inbox managers better, and them asking questions. Well, what do you want to do with this? What do you want to do with that? And then just over time, I think that just the trust level grew to where we kind of expanded, from what we were doing initially to over months. There's more things that I trusted that they could take on and handle. And, at this point, sometimes they'll kind of draft an email, and a lot of times I'll look at it and either just send it or make a small tweak and then send it. Or in certain cases, they've learned that, like, okay, this one just needs to be forwarded here, but they'll still tag it so I can see it and see, like, okay, this one they grabbed and already forwarded it. And then I don't really have any action items because it was already taken care of. But I would say, yeah, just with time and working with them, the level of trust and things that we took on just kind of expanded.
So last question, Eric, in terms of how much time you've gotten back, can you give us a rough percentage? Do you think you've 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%? And I'd also love to know what you're doing with that extra time, given that it's freed you up, whether that's more work or hobbies, travel, family time, I'm not sure.
Well, I wouldn't say that it necessarily equates to time overall, just because, back to the point, the business is growing at a pace that even though I can spend more time with the people, it still takes a lot of time. But I will say it's allowed me to have more focused time and more time with less stress, if that makes sense, when I do go on, because I have taken some more vacations last year. And it allowed me to be on the vacation and not as stressed about what was going on in the background, because we had kind of geared up for it. The team, the Inbox Done team knew I was going to be away, and they knew who they could contact internally. And I was able to kind of be there and not have to worry about what was piling up on the background. And honestly, when I plugged back in, it was a lot less stressful too, because I wasn't, it wasn't this hundreds or thousands of emails that I hadn't touched. It had been tended while I was gone. So there's definitely been that aspect. And, if the business wasn't growing as fast, more free time, but it's definitely more time with a lower level of stress, just about always wondering what's happening on that front. And even inside the workday, it's more focused time, because I used to be sitting in different strategy meetings and just thinking about, like, oh, how many dozens of emails are coming in just this hour while I'm sitting here, right? Now I can sit in the meeting, focus on the meeting, and that stress has kind of gone away, which is nice. It just helps my state of well-being.
Nice. So we're probably helping you live longer, basically, less stress.
Hopefully, yeah.
Awesome, Eric. I appreciate the time. If anyone wants to check out more about what you do, what's the best website to go to?
Summitsolar.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the time, and I hope we have a continued long-term relationship.
Yeah, same. Thank you.